Hi, Kristen. This is Ellen. I will be correcting these essays for you. So let's take a look what you've written. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's see what you said. Oh, okay, perfect. So the first one is about schools and whether they should be more entertaining. Let's see what you wrote. Education is considered a vital part of childhood and adolescence as it may lay the foundation of how you obtain and retain knowledge for the rest of your life. I believe that the school's most critical task is to educate students in the current curriculum and that this can be accomplished with the aid of entertainment. Okay. Um so it kind of sounds like you say that the priority should be education but that they should add some entertainment, right? The essay asks if you think schools should be more entertaining. Okay? So, while I love this paragraph, I think it's really well written and, everything was accurate. I do have a question as to how closely you answered the question you were asked. So, to me, it kind of sounds like they need to educate but add some entertainment. That's it. So um it's it's good, but judging from your writing so far, if I can do that off of one paragraph, like I said, I would like to be a little more closely focused to the question. Let's keep going. Firstly, my belief is that by making education more enjoyable, it is likely that pupils may attend an educational facility on a more regular basis. Unfortunately, school refusal is becoming an increasing problem, especially in the richer parts of the world in the wake of the COVID-19 lockdowns. Therefore, it could be beneficial for teachers to add elements that entertain as part of the curriculum. This may entice the students to perform better and learn faster. For example, playing a short YouTube clip with a joke after an hour of mathematics may break up the lesson. This gives the brain a break. That's a tongue twister. This gives the brain a break, time to process the new material, and encourages the pupil to continue his or her session. Great. Okay. Secondly, teachers, especially in primary school, I wanted a comma here, are focusing more on learning through play. Playing is how children naturally explore their surroundings. Playing is how children naturally explore their surroundings and boost their social and cognitive skills. For example, planning and turning a box into a car may teach spatial awareness, creativity. You want an and here. Spatial awareness and creativity, as well as developing social skills. The task of creating the car may have been seen as pure enjoyment by the students, but they have also gained valuable knowledge. Okay. So in conclusion, I believe schools can accomplish educational goals by incorporating entertainment such as media and natural play into the curriculum as it may motivate, increase knowledge, and encourage learning. Okay. So I don't know. I have to ask if you're a native speaker. Because the language was completely accurate. So that was great to see. That's something rare. So that would be my first question for you. If that's the case, you know, as native speakers, there's still certain things that we have to do, or, even if you have a very, very, very high level of language and English is, a foreign language to you, there are still certain things that you have to do in IELTS. And so that's where the criteria of task achievement and coherence and cohesion come in. So why am I telling you this? Because I already mentioned to you that the introduction really has to be very focused on the question that was in the prompt. Okay, so that's the first thing. I thought that the way you wrote this didn't entirely how can I say this in a way that makes sense? I didn't feel that it entirely prepared me for the way you actually developed your body paragraphs. So your body paragraphs focused on the immense importance of entertainment in classrooms and that we really need to prioritize this for a number of reasons. Um, you said that the critical task was to educate students, and that this can be accomplished with entertainment. But again, what was written here was a little different. Okay, what was written here was schools need to be more entertaining. Okay, and then so that's one part of the argument, and the other part is no, no, no. Schools just have to educate. So, having read this whole thing, I think that this could have been reworded to say that, let's see, I believe that school's most critical task is to educate students. Um, However, the best way to do this is through entertainment. So if you had kind of shown that, yes, we must educate, but the best way, the only way, they have to go hand in hand. Like you can't educate dryly without entertainment. Like if you had kind of shifted this a little bit, it might seem like a minor difference, but I do believe that a sentence like that would have, number one, answered the question a little more closely, and then number two, it would have related to your body paragraphs a little better. So what we're talking about here, as I said before, it's a little bit of task achievement and it's a little bit of coherence and cohesion. Why is it task achievement? Because your position needs to be clear throughout the response. Throughout is obviously from the beginning to the end. The beginning of your essay is the introduction. So your position and where you stand on this issue, it has to be really crystal clear from your introduction. And then it also affects coherence and cohesion because you have to have a logical progression of ideas. Your paragraphs, your ideas, they all need to link together in a very coherent way. Okay. So, to be honest with you, I'm really looking at details because this was a very, very well written essay. So I'd be curious to know what score it is you're aiming for. Because if we need to talk about this level of detail and this level of precision, then I'm happy to do it. But if you're looking for, just like a 7 or something like this, then perhaps we don't need to go into quite so much detail. So that's a piece of information I would love from you. All right, so very accurate language. I already talked about that. Like native speaker level. So now I want to look at the one about doing an enjoyable activity with a child. All right, so here we go with this. Childhood is the time to form several of the abilities you need as an adult, and children are naturally programmed for this. Reading is considered one of these skills as it will aid you greatly later on in life. I, however, believe other forms of activities may advance and boost competency in other areas more greatly than reading on its own. Great, crystal clear. So reading, yes, it's important, but other activities will help. Okay, I can tell you right now that this kind of paragraphing is going to be a problem for you. It's not going to help you. Interestingly, in 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 task achievement. The reason why I say that is because you have not covered all parts of the topic equally. So it looks like you've spent a huge paragraph talking about other activities, and then this tiny little 2-sentence paragraph on reading. And that's not what you want to do. Now, I'm not saying you need to be obsessive and you need to do like a word count to make sure that your paragraphs are, the same length. But I mean, at least approximately, you want to accomplish that. Okay. Definitely a 2-sentence paragraph is not a paragraph. It's not, especially not for your body. Okay. So that's something I want to point out even before I start reading it. Okay. Firstly, there is no denying reading is important to a young person's development as it lays the foundations for further studies. For example, in order to commence higher education and getting a degree, good literacy is crucial. Okay. So, I think there was so much more you could have added to this. This is just literally one main idea and, one example. And so this may also affect your coherence and cohesion score because this isn't really how we structure paragraphs. It doesn't have a topic sentence. There's no kind of, there's not really a progression of ideas because there's essentially just two ideas here. So those are things that you have to look at. Um, let's see. So what kinds of skills? Remember that this is about skills, right? So they develop better skills and creativity. So my question to you is, what skills does reading develop when a child reads, or when an adult reads to a child? What kind of skill does that child develop? Does the child develop any creativity through reading? Okay, so you might think about it, but let me just help you by giving you a couple of ideas. Um, Reading helps creativity because the child is kind of imagining these imaginary worlds, imaginary characters, what they look like, what they sound like, and this really helps. Also, we can say that reading helps vocabulary. It helps develop language skills. It helps develop critical thinking skills, and so you could develop all of those. You could talk about those ideas and how reading does these things. Okay, so that for me, those ideas, just to give you an example, are some ideas that would have really helped make this a nice rich paragraph and kind of making a case for reading and how it is an important part of a child's upbringing. Okay, so let's continue and see what you said in the next paragraph. However, not all knowledge is naturally attained through reading. This is particularly the case for children, as their brains are created to obtain knowledge by learning through their surroundings. For example, learning a new language is easier at a young age, and they learn it faster through social interactions than studying a book. Furthermore, learning through play is a concept that is becoming increasingly more popular in schools. Building a treehouse together could be an example of this. Through the planning process, you and the child might have drawn the plans for the house and enhanced your creative skills. By calculating how many nails and planks you needed, you've used mathematical skills. Social abilities were obtained through negotiating what the house should look like, and the physical activity of assembling the house taught, you spelled it wrong, taught the child spatial awareness, balance, and endurance. As a result, various abilities along with creativity were enhanced. Now, this is beautiful. I really like how you stretched out this example and just made it applicable to so many different things, and it was tangible. It was a tangible example. So you didn't just leave us to like think about it in an abstract kind of way. It was very, very specific. So I think this paragraph is excellent. Really well done. To conclude, although reading is a vital ability, there are other experiences that may boost and advance various skills for children through playful activities over reading alone. Okay, great. So I'm very happy with this first set. Like I said, your language level is really, really very high. I think that what we need to work on while you progress in the course is just some of these test taking skills, writing skills, rather than language skills. And that's a great place to be at because these test taking and or writing skills, if you want to refer to them as that, they are kind of easier to acquire than some of the language skills. The language skills typically take a lot more time. So you're in a great position. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now, Kristin, is to correct these essays, return them back to me corrected. With those, I want you also to write your next set of essays, send them together, and don't forget to write an error correction list where you have the mistakes and then next to mistakes write what the corrected version would be. Okay, just add to that every time you get an essay correction back from us. Okay, so I'm really excited about the start of your course. I'm looking forward to your next essays, so I'll be waiting for them. Good luck to you.